आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरते यौपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये ओमित्येतदक्षरमुद्गीतमुपासीत ओमिति ह्युद्गायते तस्योपव्याख्यानम् तदनन्यत्वम् आरम्भणशब्दादिभ्यः The question was asked, Katham tu asatvena vedantavakyena satyasya brahmatmattvasya pratipattihi upapadyeta. You are saying that the Jagat is mithya, the Vedas also are part of Jagat, the Jnana Kanda include Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda, all of these are part of Vedas, that's all part of creation and therefore mithya or asat. Asatyena vedanta vakyena satatvamasi aham brahmasmi. These are the Vedanta vakyas, these statements of Vedanta revealing the identity. Satyasya brahmatmattvasya pratipattihi katham upadyeta. How can this statement, which falls in the category of mithya, how can it become the means of the knowledge of the true nature of self, which is Brahman? How can true knowledge be created by a false statement? Not false statement, but then statement which is mithya, in the realm of mithya. So what is in the realm of mithya? How can it create the knowledge which is absolute reality? Nahi rajju sarpena dashtah mriyate. There's somebody beaten by a rope snake, he doesn't die. Napi mrigatashnikam vasa panavgahanadi prayojanam kriyate iti. Nor is it possible that somebody can drink, quench the thirst, or get a bath in mirage water. So quenching thirst is real, taking bath is real, mirage water is unreal. That unreal thing cannot accomplish a real purpose. Being bitten by a snake is real, rope snake is unreal. How can the rope snake, create a real bite? Cannot. Naisha dosha. So question is, satyasya asatyadutpattirva pratipattirva pratishidyate. When you are making the statement as to how can satyam be born of asatya, what exactly do you mean? Satyasya asatyadutpatti, that satyam cannot be created from asatya. Is that your question? Or pratipattirva, or knowledge of satyam cannot be created by asatya. Asatya cannot create satyam, or asatya cannot create knowledge of satyam. What is your question? Now, adya, it cannot be that from satya, so asatya is not satya is not born. Satvasya, that is ishtam, that is desirable to us, that satya is never born, because whatever is born is mithya or asatyam. Therefore, we accept that satya or the real or absolute reality cannot be born of asatya or mithya or unreal. That's ishtam, that is desirable to us. Although some people satyasyapi kechid utpattim upagacchandi, some people accept that even satya can be born of asatya. Tat pakshepi na dosha, then also there is no problem. So Bhashaka said, naisha dosha, that dosha is not there. Shanka vishadi nimitta maranadi karyopalabdehe. We do find sometimes that a person becomes unconscious or even dies because of the notion that the snake has bitten him. Not that there was a real snake to bite him, but he just had this kind of notion that snake has bitten me, and that may make him unconscious, or that may even cause him death. So, upalabde, this is what we see sometimes happening. Therefore, an unreal snake has created the effect of a real snake bite. Another example, swapna darshanavasthasya cha sarpadamshana udakasnanadi karya darshanat. Or a person who is dreaming, he sees a snake in the dream and there is a snake bite. He has the real effect of a snake bite, or there is mirage water. He takes bath in that mirage water, and so that's all satya. So how can this be an example? Tat karyasyapi anutam eva iti chet, tat karyapi anutam eva iti chet. But hey, even the snake bite also is mithya. In the dream, the snake is bitten. The snake bites him. He is bitten by a snake. But that's not a real bite. That is also mithya. In the dream, he takes not mirage water. He takes bath in real water, real dream water. But dream water is not real. But then that bath also is not real. So, tat karyapi anudamevati chet bruyat tatra brumaha. Yes, it is true that the bathing of the dreamer is also unreal. The snake bite of the dream also is unreal. Still, yadyapi swapna darshanavasthasya sarpadamshana udagasnanadikaryam anrutam. True that the snake bite and the taking bath in the water in the dream is because the whole dream is anudam. Since the whole dream is mithya or unreal, therefore whatever transaction takes place in dream also is unreal. So that snake bite also is unreal, the bathing also is unreal. Okay. Tathapi tat avagatihi satyameva phalam. But still, when one wakes up, then one sees, hey, in the dream I took bath, in the dream I was bitten by a snake. That avagati, that knowledge of the waker is real. And therefore, the unreal thing in the dream has created real knowledge. Avagatihi vrittihi ghataadivat satyapi pratibhasika swapna drishtavastuna phalam. So whatever you experience in a dream, in the morning you remember. So that memory or that knowledge which takes place to the waker, that Swamiji, you came in my dream yesterday, something like that. So the dream may be mithya, but his knowledge that he sees the Swami coming in the dream, that knowledge is real. So mithya dream has created real knowledge. Pratibuddhasyapi avadhyamanatvad, because even after he wakes up, then also this vritti remains that I took a bath, I was bitten by a snake. Nai swapnaduttita swapnadushtam sarpadam darshanodaka snadikaram mithyayati manyamana. The waker knows that bath was mithya. He knows that snake bite was mithya. He knows that, and still that avagatimapi mithyayati manyate. But that in my mind, that knowledge is taking place, that I took bath in the dream, I was bitten by a snake in the dream, that knowledge is true in the waking. And therefore, the mithya dream has created true knowledge, and therefore, satyam is born of asatyam. Purely technical point. The thing is that the Vedas do give rise to knowledge anyway. But still, this is a technical point, that if the whole world is mithya, Vedas also are mithya, how can they give? As we said yesterday, what the Vedas do is, they create the Jnana Vritti, which also is in the realm of mithya. And what that Jnana Vritti or the knowledge does is, it dispels ignorance. That is also mithya. So it is not that even Vedas also create Satyam or create the Atma that is Satyam. Atma is ever there. All that the problem is, there is a veil of ignorance. And there are false notions about the self. And that is what the knowledge dispels. So there is no burden of creating real knowledge. Atma is self-shining. It's always shining, it's always known also. We are self-conscious being, therefore we are always conscious of ourselves, and therefore Atma is known also. Except that it is wrongly known, and therefore that false knowledge is dispelled by the Jnana Vritti. But anyway, here the fight is, how can Mithya Vedas create Satya knowledge? Well, okay, Mithya dream can create Satyam Jnanam Avagati. And also, Etena Swapna Drushaha Avagati Abadena Dehamatratmavado Dushito Veditavyaha. Deha Bhedepi Anusandhana Darshanad. In the dream body also, I took the bath. After waking up also, in the waking body, I recollect what happened in the dream. So dream comes and goes, the waking also comes and goes, but the Anusandhata, the one who recollects, he is common to both waking and dream. Therefore, Atma is not confined to the body, it is different from the body. Therefore, this Vada, that body is Atma, is also refuted hereby. Now continuing with the page 379. So first question was, Asatyat Satyam Jayate va nava. Is the real thing born of unreal? It is. By Swapna, etc. it has been established. Now, Asatyat Satyasya Pratipattirva. The knowledge of Satyam, can it be born of Asatya or not? So says Ratnaprabha in the page 379. Asatyat सत्यस्य ज्ञानं न जायते इति द्वितीय नियमस्य श्रुत्या व्यभिचारमाह. The second point, that how can the true knowledge be born of something which is unreal? That name also is not there. Apavada, exception to that rule also is shown subsequently. Shrutya, Shruti herself in fact says how the true knowledge is born from something which is mithya. Tathacha Shrutihi. So in the page 379, Bhashyakara says, तथा च श्रुतिः यदा कर्मसु काम्येषु स्त्रियं स्वप्नेषु पश्यति समृद्धिं तत्र जानीयात् तस्मिन् स्वप्ननिदर्शने इति असत्येन स्वप्नदर्शनेन सत्यायाः समृद्धेः प्रतिपत्तिं दर्शयति. So this is a statement, this comes in Chhandogya. Okay. Yada karma sukameshu striyam swapneshu pashyati. When you are doing some anushtanam, kameshu karmasu, with a certain agenda, with a certain desire, if you are doing anushtanam, Gayatri anushtanam, or any other anushtanam you are doing, or some other ritual you are performing with a desire, kameshu karmasu, while that is going on, striyam swapneshu pashyati, in the dream that person sees a woman. It's a good omen. Samruddhim tatra janiyat tasmin swapna nidarshane. When you see that in the dream, you should know that your ritual, your anushthanam is going to be successful. Samruddhim tatra janiyat. You should know the success of your action or the ritual that you are performing. If you see a woman in the dream. Iti asatyena swapna darshanena. The seeing of a woman in the dream is asatyam, is unreal, because whole dream is unreal. Satyayaha samruddhe pratipattim darshayati. But still, it in fact foretells the success of the ritual or the action that is being performed. And that is, so samruddhi is real, success is real. So real success is born of the unreal experience of the unreal dream. So say Ratnaprabha, Neta striyah mithyatvevi taddarshana satyadeva satyayaha samruddhehe jnana vidivachyam. Purvapakshi says that, hey, this is not a fit example for proving that the knowledge, true knowledge is born of something unreal. It is birth of real from the real only. How? Striya mithyatvepi. It is true that the woman that you see in the dream is mithya, is unreal. Tad darshanat. But then Stri darshanam. So Stri is unreal, but tad darshanam, the perception of that woman in the dream, that is real. And therefore, satyayaha. So from the real darshanam, the real success is born. Why not? Iti navachyam. You should not say that. Why? Vishaya vishishtatvena darshanasyapi mithyatvad. Since Stri is mithya, therefore Stri darshanam also is mithya. Vishaya vishishtatvena. The darshanam of the woman. So that darshanam of the seeing is qualified by the woman of the dream. And if that woman is unreal, then the seeing also is unreal. Therefore from the unreal, the real samruddhi or success is born. प्रकृतेऽपि सत्ये ब्रह्मणि मिथ्यावेद अनुगत चैतन्यात् ज्ञान संभवाच्च इति भावः. Prakrutevi, in the matter under discussion. What is the matter under discussion? As to how, for the unreal Vedas, the real knowledge is born. So, Prakrutevi, Satye Brahmani, Mithya Veda, Anugata Chaitanyasya, Jnana Sambhava Chaitanyat, Jnana Sambhavacha. Veda is Mithya, so Veda Vakya also is Mithya, and the knowledge takes place through that Veda Vakya also is Mithya, but the Anugata Chaitanya, the Chaitanya that is reflected in that Jnanam is real, and therefore by that the knowledge of the self being Brahman can take place. Then continuing Shri Ratnarava, Asatyat Satyasya Ishtasya Jnanam Uktva Anishtasya Jnanamaha. So one example was how the darshanam, the perception of a woman in the dream, brings about the success in your anushtanam, in your ritual. Similarly, there are also evil omens also. So that evil omen feels something else in the dream that can bring about a failure also. So that is that foretells the failure or lack of success. So anishtasya jnanam aha. How the unreal thing can give rise to the knowledge of desirable, or it can also bring about the knowledge of the undesirable. Tatha iti. So next sentence is Tatha pratyaksha darshaneshu keshuchit aristeshu jateshu न चिरम इव जीविष्यते इति विद्यात् इत्युक्त्वा अथ. This cannot be swapna, but swapne यः पुरुषं कृष्णं कृष्णदन्तं पश्यति स एनं हन्ति इत्यादिना तेन तेन असत्येनैव स्वप्नदर्शनेन सत्यं मरणं सूच्यते. इति दर्शयते. तथा प्रत्यक्ष दर्शनेषु केषुचित् अरिष्टेषु जातेषु. When you see some bad omens, so when some evil omen or bad omen comes to your perception, na chiramiva jivishyati. This is from a sect somewhere, where this is how the whole discussion begins. That when you see a bad omen of a certain kind, then you know that na chiram jivishyati, that this person will not live long. So sometimes a cat crosses the path, you know that that's a bad omen. Similarly, there are certain bad omens which actually foretell the death, that this person will not live long now. So that discussion is begun that way. Then says Yuktva Atha Swapne Purusham Krishnam Krishnadantam Pashyate. If in the dream you see a man, a black man with black teeth, Sayenam Hanti, that man will kill this person, meaning that perception of a black man with black teeth is an omen is a bad omen which will bring about the death of this person. So again, same thing. The perception of the dream is unreal and foretells the real death. Ityadina tena tena asatyenaiva swapna darshanena Satyam Maranam Suchate iti Darshayate. By that respective perception in the dream, a real death will happen. This is what this Shruti also indicates here. सत्यस्य प्रतिपत्ति असत्यात् भवति तत्र अन्वय व्यतिरेकोऽपि प्रमाणमित्याह. असत्या सत्यस्य प्रतिपत्ति भवति. From the unreal, the knowledge of the real takes place. So these two examples are given. Tatra अन्वय व्यतिरेकोऽपि प्रमाणम. अन्वय व्यतिरेक also, the rule of agreement and disagreement also is pramanam. Prasiddham cha Bhashyakara says. Prasiddham cha loke अन्वय व्यतिरेक कुशलानाम ईदृशेन स्वप्न दर्शनेन साध्वागम सूच्यते. ईदृशेन असाध्वागम इति. प्रसिद्धं च idam loke, and this is also well known among the people. Anvaya Vyatireka Kushalanam. So those who are adept, Kushalanam, those who are adept in Anvaya Vyatireka, by the rule of the agreement or the disagreement. Anvaya being together, Vyatireka not being together. So Anvaya, when sun is, the day is. Vyatireka, when the sun is not, the day is not. The clay is, the pot is, the clay is not, the pot is not. Similarly, certain omens are there, then something will happen. Those omens are not there, it will not happen. Prasiddham chedam loke anvaya vyatireka kushalanam. So those are adept in anvaya and vyatireka. Idrushena. So there are some people who are expert in interpreting dreams. Idrushena swapna darshanena. When somebody sees this kind of a thing in a dream, sadhvagamaha, something desirable will happen, sadhvagamaha. Suchyate idrushena asadhvagamaha. And when you see such and such thing in the dream, then undesirable thing will happen. If such and such a thing in the dream, a desirable thing will happen. So by Anvaya Vyatireka also, people so interpret the dream. There also, it is dream perception that becomes the basis for foretelling the good or the evil that is going to happen. Still the discussion continues. Says Ratnaprabha, asatyat satyasya jnane dushtantantaramaa. Or from the asatya, the unreal, the knowledge of satyam is born. For that, another illustration is given here. Tatha akaraditi. So Bhashyakara says, Tatha akaradi satyakshara pratipatti drishta rekha anruta akshara pratipattehe. Akaradi satyakshara. Now that's an interesting thing. What is a? So you write an a. Interesting how the a is written differently in different languages. In Gujarati you write a in a certain way, in Hindi you write in a different way, then in Urdu you write in a different way, In English, A you write in a different way. Same sound, but then written differently. So what is A? Is it that rekha? Is it this, the lines that you draw on a paper? Is that akara? That line it can change. It's a matter of convention. And so the people speaking Hindi draw different kinds of lines and they get the same message. And different people speaking different languages, right? Draw different kinds of lines and then they get the knowledge of akara from that. Akaradi satyakshara pratipatti. That akara is satya. That a is a sound. And that is real. But the lines that you draw on the paper have no relation at all. And so that mithya lines give rise to the knowledge of the real akshara, the real letter. So drushta rekha anuta akshara pratipatte. Rekha anuta akshara. The false a which is in the form of those lines, from that you get the knowledge of the true a which is the real sound. Says Ratnaprabha, rekhasu akarattvadi bhrantya satyaha akaradaya jnanayante iti prasiddhamityartha. A, ba, ka, kha, whatever it is. Rekhasu akarattvadi. So there is a bhranti. When you see those lines on the paper, as even we are seeing all these lines on this paper and reading, those lines are not letters. So lines which are false letters, from the false letters in the form of lines, we get the knowledge of the true letter as are being spoken here. So rekhasu akaratvadi bhrantya. If bhranti has taken place in our mind that this is a, this is a, this is e, that bhranti was created with a lot of labor. How many times we must have written ka to impress that bhranti in our mind that this is ka. Ghutvanu ka. In the beginning you can't write, so your hand, this mother holds your hand and says ka. How much work these mothers have done, imagine, From knowing nothing to, the first teacher is mother. And what an amount of work she must have done on a child. With what enthusiasm. And there were 8 of us, imagine. And still, with the same dedication, the same thing is done. So this bhranti is created that this is a, this is a, this is ka, this is kha. It took a long time for that bhranti to create because a child does not recognize anything. But then when the bhranti is created, from that bhranta a, the knowledge of real a takes place. So asatya satya pratipatti, satyasya pratipatti. The knowledge of what is right from an unreal thing. Another example. But somebody says lines are also real. Those lines also are real, are they not? Says Nyaya Rekha Sarupasya Satyatvevi. Lines themselves are lines. Akaradi Rupatya Tathatva Bhavat. But that line is a superimposition. Line itself is not unreal. But that this line is a superimposition. Akaradi Rupatya Tathatva Bhavat. Because if those lines are then whoever will see the line will read a. But somebody who does not know Gujarati language, when he sees that, does not make out anything. That means that the lines he sees, because they are real. But the line is a or ka is something that is superimposed upon them, and only one who superimposes alone recognizes that. Therefore, भाष्य अनुत इति अनुत्तर अक्षर प्रतिपत्ति है. रेखा अनुत अक्षर. Rekha is real, but akshara is superimposed. From superimposed akshara, the knowledge of real akshara takes place. Now says Ratna Prabha, एवं असत्यात् सत्यस्य जन्म उक्त्या यद अर्थ क्रियाकारी तत्सत्यमिति नियमो भग्नः. असत्यात् सत्यस्य जन्म उक्त्या, how satya is born. So satya here in case of satyasya jnanam, how the true knowledge is born of something which is unreal. यद अर्थ क्रियाकारी तत्सत्यमिति नियमो भग्नः. So that which serves the purpose is satyam. So this serves the purpose. This rekha or the letter, the lines, serve the purpose of creating the knowledge of satyam. But that is not satyam. Artha kriyakare means that which serves the purpose. Like this water serves the purpose of quenching the thirst, therefore it is real water. And the mirage water does not serve that purpose, that is unreal water. But here, the letters are not satya. The rekha is satya, but that is a or ba is not satya. And still it serves the purpose. And therefore, to say that what serves the purpose is always real, is that niyamo bhagna, that rule is here violated. Anutat satyasya jnanoktya yad anukaranagамyam tad madhyam kutalinga anumita vanyavadati vyapti bhagna. Anutat satyasya jnanoktya, how the knowledge of the satya or the truth takes place from something which is unreal. Yet anukaranagамyam tad madhyam, another rule. Yet anukaranagамyam tad madhyam. So whatever you know from unreal means or unreal hetu or unreal sense organs is madhyam, is always negated. Kutalinga anumita vanyavaditi vyapti. So as we said the other day, that somebody confuses or mistakes the dust as smoke. So there is the dust flying in the air, and somebody confused from a distance confuses that as smoke and comes to a conclusion that there is fire there. That knowledge is madhyam, that knowledge is negated when you really find out there is no fire. So thus they have made a vyapti, or they have made a rule. Yet anukaranagамyam tad madhyam, whatever is known from the false karanam or the false hetu, tad madhyam, that is negated, that vyapti also is violated here, because anukaranagамyam, this letter is false in the rekha, and still it gives the knowledge of the true akara. So that vyapti also is violated here. तथा च कल्पितानापि वेदान्तानां सत्य ब्रह्म बोधकत्वं संभवति इति तात्विकं प्रामाण्यमिति भावः. तथा च कल्पितानापि वेदानां, even vedantanam, even the Vedantas, Upanishads also are kalpita, meaning they are also part of creation, and therefore they are also projection. Satya Brahma Bodhakatvam Sambhavati, still they can give rise to the knowledge of Satya, or unreal Vedas can give rise to knowledge of Satya Brahman. Just as unreal dream gives rise to the knowledge of the real success or real failure, etc. Iti tatvikam pramanyam vedantanam tatvikam pramanyam. Therefore, Vedantas are pramana in the true sense. Iti bhava. So now that point is settled. The question was asked, Kathantu asatyena vedandavakyena satyasya brahmatmattvasya pratipattihi upapadyeta. How can the asatya vedandavakya give rise to the pratipatti, the knowledge of Satya Brahma? That is now, that question is answered, that yes, even though Vedanta Vakya are unreal, they can give rise to the knowledge of Brahman that is real. Now next point, Yaduktam ekatva nanatva vyavahara siddhe ubhayam satyamiti. Earlier the Purvapakshi had said on the page 374, Nano anekatmakam Brahma, that Brahma is anekatmakam. Brahman is a composite entity, not a homogeneous entity, a composite entity. Yatha vrukshah aneka shakha. Just as the tree is one, but is a composite entity consisting of many branches, etc. Evam aneka shakti pravutyuktam Brahma. Similarly also, Brahman is possessed of many shaktis, many powers, and many modifications brought about the power. Brahman is creator, sustainer, dissolver, ordainer. The Brahman possesses many powers and brings about relevant activities. Ataha ekatvam nanatvam cha ubhayamapi satyameva. Therefore, the Purvapakshi, the Karanavadi says, Parinamavadi says that a Brahma is ekam as well as many, both of these are real. Yatha vruksha iti ekatvam shakha iti nanatvam. Just as vruksha it is one, as branches it is many. Tathacha samudratmana ekatvam Fen tarangadi atmana nanatvam. Similarly also, as samudra it is one, and as the foam and the waves, etc., it is many. As cause it is one, as effect it is many. So Brahma is karya karanatmakam, consisting of both karya and karana, effect and cause. Ithacha mrudatmana ekatvam Ghatasharavadi atmana nanatvam. As clay it is one, as pots and pans it is many. Tatra ekatvam shena jnanat moksha vyavahara setsyati. So as cause, Brahman is one. So by knowing Brahman that is one, then you get liberated. Nanatvam shena tu karma kanda shrayau laukika vedika vyavaharo setsyatah iti. And as a fact, it is many, and therefore the karma kanda and the laukika vyavahara, the day-to-day activities which require duality, that also can be explained because Brahman is multifarious also. Evam cha mrudai drishtantah anurupa bhavishyanti iti yatha swamya ekena mrunpindena sarvam mrunmayam vijnatam syat. Hey Somya, by the knowledge of one cloud of earth, how everything made of earth is known, all of this will fit very well if you accept Brahman as a composite entity consisting of cause and effect, one as cause, many as effect. This was the Purva Paksha. So that is taken up now. Going back to Anandagiri, Ratna Prabha on page 379. Yaduktam ekatva nanatva vyavahara siddhe ubhayam satyameti. What the Purva Pakshi had said that vyavahara siddhe ekatva vyavahara for moksha, nanatva vyavahara for all the day-to-day transactions and performing the rituals, etc. Tanna. So that cannot be. Bhedasya lokasiddhasya apurva phalavat abheda virodhena satyatva kalpana ayogat. Bhedasya lokasiddhasya. Veda is lokasiddha, meaning it is something which is well known to the people. Apurva phalavat abheda virodhena. You see, abheda knowledge is phalavat. Important thing is that is called knowledge which is phalavat, which serves the purpose. So abheda jnanam, the knowledge of non-duality of Brahman, knowledge of absolute identity of Atma and Brahman, that I am Brahman. This knowledge is a meaningful knowledge, is a purposeful knowledge. It has a meaning, at the same time it serves the purpose of releasing me from the sense of smallness. On account of taking myself to be different from Brahma, I am suffering from a sense of smallness, and that gives rise to all the sorrow. By recognizing that Brahma is Brahma is the true nature of myself, all the smallness goes away, all the sorrow also goes away. So therefore it is phalavat jnanam. Abheda, the knowledge of non-duality, is phalavat, meaning it is purposeful, it serves the purpose. Apurva phalavat, also phalam, all the liberation, which was not there so far. So knowledge of non-duality brings about liberation, which is apurvam, which is something unique. Lokasiddhasya bhedasya virodhena. And that non-duality is opposed to the duality which people take to be real. Satyatva kalpana ayogat. See, if both were compatible, then both can be real. If Bheda and Abheda, both of them can stay together, if they can coexist. If duality and non-duality, both of them can coexist, then you can say that both of them are real. But they cannot coexist. The non-duality diminishes duality, because duality is mithya. Just as the knowledge of the rope completely eliminates the blades or destroys the snake, similarly this duality being superimposition, being mithya, therefore it is sublated, negated or destroyed by the knowledge of non-duality. So idea is that non-duality and duality cannot coexist. Therefore, only one of them can be real. Both of them cannot be real. There is a beggar and there is an actor. Both of them cannot coexist in the sense that this knowledge that this is a beggar and this is an actor, these two knowledge cannot coexist. Do you follow? Even though beggar and actor seem to coexist as long as you do not know, but once you know this person is actor, that knowledge that is beggar goes away. He cannot be simultaneously actor and beggar, because being actor is opposed to being beggar. Similarly, that I am Brahman, at the same time that I am a Jiva. Now these two things cannot coexist. The knowledge that I am Brahman will eliminate the notion that I am Jiva because it is Mithya. So Mithya is eliminated by the knowledge of Satyam. They cannot coexist. Or that Jagat is Mithya and Jagat is real. These two things cannot coexist. Because that Jagat is Mithya will eliminate the Brahma or the delusion of the reality of Jagat. So the point is that the duality and non-duality cannot coexist. So virodena satyatva kalpana ayogat. Therefore, this kalpana that duality also is satya. They say that non-duality is satya, duality also is satya. Brahma satyam, Jagat satyam. Says cannot be, because when the true nature of the Jagat is known, that it is asti bhati priyam, then the notion that Nama Rupa is satyam cannot remain. Says Ratnaprabha, kincha yadi uvayoho ekada vyavahara syat tada syadabi satyatvam. If the actor and beggar can simultaneously exist, that he can be an actor also and the beggar also simultaneously, then you can say that both of them are real, but it cannot be. Naivam asti, that I am a Jiva and I am Brahman. If both of these knowledge can coexist, then both of them can be real, but naivam asti, that is not so. Ekatva jnanena charamena anapekshena nanatvasya nishesham badhat. That I am Brahman completely eliminates the idea that I am Jiva. Or that Jagat is Mithya completely eliminates the idea that Jagat is Satyam. Nothing remains there. It is not that this part of Jagat is Satyam, other part is Mithya, or in the morning I am a Jiva, in the evening I am Brahman. That cannot be. So says Nishesham Badhat, it is negated or eliminated without leaving any Shesha or any residue. Shukti jnanenaiva rajatasyeti. Just as when you know the Shuktika, the shell as shell, then the notion of Rajata or silver cannot at all remain. Similarly also, the idea of duality cannot remain in the wake of the knowledge of non-duality. Therefore, duality and non-duality, both of them cannot be real. One has to be real, other has to be unreal. Either actor is real or beggar is real. But something is coming and going, something is incidental, other is inherent. The beggar comes and goes, the actor is inherent, and therefore the beggar is mithya. The duality comes and goes, and the non-duality is ever abiding, therefore duality is mithya. The jivatvam comes and goes, brahmatvam is abiding, therefore jivatvam is mithya. Nachaiti Bhashyakara says, no, apicha. Apicha antyamidam pramanam atmekattvasya pratipadakam natah param kinchit akankshamasti. Apicha antyamidam pramanam. This is the ultimate pramanam, the conclusive pramanam. Ekatvasya pratipadakam. Vedanta is the antya pramanam, ultimate pramanam. Ekatva pratipada, atmekatvasya pratipadakam. Vedanta that delineates the non-duality of the self, that what is self. Brahman is Jagat Karanam Therefore, Jagat-atma and Atma is Brahma means Atma is Jagat Karanam, Atma is Brahma, Atma is the self of all, Atma is only one, non-dual. That knowledge. Atmanikattvasya Pratipadakam Antyam Pramanam. This is the conclusive of the ultimate means of knowledge. Natah param kinchit akankshamasti yajñātva neya bhuyonyat jñātavyam avasishyate, knowing which no questions remain. What next? That question does not remain. What more? That question does not remain. Why is it so? Sarvatmekatva vishayatva avagate. No. Yeah, we'll come to that. So says Ratnaprabha, or as Nyaya Nirnaya says, Nirapekshatve sati उत्तर भावी प्रमाणत्वात् प्रत्यक्षादि बाधकत्वम आगमस्य इति निरपेक्षत्वे सति. That I am Brahman does not depend upon any condition. I am Brahman because, no, nirapekshatre, I am Brahman. Uttar bhavi pramanatvat, it is the pramanam that comes after all other pramanas. Pratyakshadivadakatvam agama, therefore, the Upanishad actually negates what is knowledge created by perception. Perception creates the knowledge of duality. And Vedanta negates that. Vedanta says there is no duality. Neha nanasti kinchana. Upanishad says there is no duality whatever. The perception and other means of knowledge create the knowledge of duality. Whereas Upanishad says there is no duality whatever. And therefore, that notion born of perception is completely negated by the knowledge of the Upanishad. Knowledge that is created by the teaching of Upanishad. Natah param kinchit akanksham. There is no curiosity, no expectancy. Once having known the Atma, the jignyasa, the desire to know, gets completely satisfied and nothing remains to be known. Bhashyakar explains, Tadeva Vyatareka Drishtantena Spashtayati. That is clarified by the Vyatareka Drishtanta, because there is no Anvaya Drishtanta. Therefore, Yatha Bhashyakara says, Yatha hi loke yajeta ityukte kim kena katham iti akankshade na evam tattvamasi aham brahmasmi ityukte kinchita anyata akankshamaste सर्वात्मैकत्व विषयत्व सर्वात्मैकत्व विषयत्व अवगतेः. यथा हि unlike this, यथा हि लोके, just as in our day-to-day vyavahara, yajeta, the karma kanda says yajeta, brahmano yajeta, a brahmana should perform this kind of yaga. So yajeta, when you perform a yaga, it creates many questions. Kim yajeta? What yaga should I perform? So yajeta, do this. What should I do? How should I do? Etc. Many questions arise. Kim yajeta? Kena yajeta? What is to be offered in that yaga? Katham yajeta? What's the method of performance of the yaga? Iti akankshate. All these questions remain. There is an expectancy of knowing all these things. So there are curiosity or expectancy is there. Unlike that, Tattvamasi, that thou art, how am I Brahman? It's not a question, I am Brahman. It is a statement of an is a reality. So how can I be Brahman? That question is not there because see yourself as Brahman. So Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, then who, what, how, these questions do not remain. Kinchit anyat akanksham. There is nothing else that remains to be known. Why? Sarvatmaikatva vishayatva avagatehe. Because the knowledge is of the Atma, there is Sarvatma, the self of all, one non-dual. So when the one is known, if there is something other than one, then the question is, but what about that one? Having known the Atma, what about Anatma? If Anatma stood separate from Atma, then the question would occur, what about Anatma? I have not known Anatma, but then Atma includes Anatma. The actor includes the beggar and the king and all of them, and therefore, having known the actor, who is beggar, who is king, that question no more remains because beggar is the one, it includes all of them. Having known Atma as one without a second, the question of then what else does not remain because there is nothing else. Mashakara continues, Satihi anyasmin avashishyamane arthe आकांक्षा स्यात् न तो आत्मैकत्वस्य आत्मैकत्व व्यतिरेकेण अवशिष्यमाणः अन्यः अर्थः अस्ति य आकांक्ष्येत. Sati anyasmin avashishyamane arthe akanksha syat. If there was something other than Atma, then the akanksha, the expectancy would remain. There are known the Atma, but what about this Anatma? What about the Jagat? I have known Brahman all right. What about the Jagat? I have known the earth all right. What about the heaven? If all of these are different from Atma, then all these questions would remain. Sati anyasmin avashishyamane arthe akanksha syat. If something remains other than Atma, then there can be a question about what is that? Natu atmanikatva vyatirekena avashishyamana anya artha asti ya akanksheta. But atmanikatva vyatirekena, other than the Atma, there is non-dual, nothing remains whatever which can become the object of inquiry or desire to know or expectancy. Says Nyaya Nirnaya, या वाक्याद् अवगति उत्पद्यते सा सर्वस्य पूर्णस्य ब्रह्मणः प्रत्यगात्मनः च ऐकरस्यम् अधिकृत्य भवति. या वाक्यात् अवगति उत्पद्यते, the knowledge that arises from the Mahavakya Tattvamasi. सा सर्वस्य पूर्णस्य ब्रह्मणः प्रत्यगात्मनश्च. That Brahman, that is Purnam or complete in every way, and Pratyagatma, the mind indwelling self, Aikarasam, both are absolutely one. Tathacha, so if Brahman were separate from Atma, then having known Atma, still the expectancy would remain. How about Brahman? Brahman being the Jagat Karana, the material cause of the creation, by knowing Brahman, the Jagat is known. Just as by knowing the clay, all the pots and pans made of clay are known. So by knowing Brahman, that being material cause, Jagat is known. But if Brahman stood separate from Atma, then still the question will remain, I have known the Atma, how about Brahman? But Aikarasyam, Atma and Brahman are absolutely one. तथा च प्रत्यगात्मा अतिरिक्तस्य आकांक्षणीयस्य अनवशिष्टत्वात्. So, other than Atma, nothing remains. Therefore, Yukta Sarva Akankshopasanti, and they have all Akanksha. Jignasa is completely satisfied. All expectancy also completely comes to a conclusion. Shrutad Vakyad Avagato Satyam Avashishyamana Artha Bhavena Akankshama Vivranati, that we already saw. Okay, we'll stop here today. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. આજે સાંજે ક્લાસ છે ને? હવેનો ક્લાસ